Hey, this is Dan Perry, and in this video I'm going to show you how to install wood planks on your wall for a nice decorative look like you see behind me here. Alright, let's go and get started. So here's a picture of the finished wall you're going to learn how to create in this video. The total cost of this wall was just $200 total for all of the materials. And it's a relatively easy project, but it does require you have a few tools. The first step is going to be to gather your materials. So you're going to need the wood planks, whichever ones you decide to go with. You're going to need some sort of stain. You're going to need some rags and a paintbrush to apply the stain. And as an optional way to protect the wood and make it last longer, you can also get a polyurethane like the one shown here. The wood planks that we used for this project are called Knotty Pine V planks, and they were purchased at Home Depot. And as you can see, they have this little tongue and groove on each side from the profile shown in this picture. They cost about $1.42 per square foot. They come in 8-foot lengths, and they're about 3.5 inches tall and just 1/4 of an inch thick. And once you have all your materials, you're going to want to start out by staining the wood to whatever color finish that you're looking to have for your specific room. Now the color that we've chosen here is a provincial. It's a Minwax Provincial 211. So that's the color that you see in this project here. And basically you're just going to brush it on. No real technique here, just get a cheap brush. You're probably going to throw it away at the end, so just brush it on. And then once you got a nice thick layer on there, go ahead and wipe it off with a clean rag. It's not going to really matter how long you leave the stain on. If you want to create a darker finish, then it's better to just let one coat dry and apply a second coat of the stain. And once you've stained it to the color you want, then what I recommend doing is some sort of a polyurethane finish that's going to help protect it from any spills or wear and tear that it might experience on the wall. Then you'll simply let the finish dry and you're ready to install the boards on the wall. The first step you're going to want to do is find all of the studs in the wall you're going to install them on. So what you'll do is you'll first take out a stud finder and go ahead and find the stud towards the bottom of the wall. And then you'll also want to find the stud at the top of the wall. And then what I like to do is just put a screw in at the top of the wall in the middle of the stud and snap a chalk line all the way to the bottom so I have a very clear mark. You can also use any straight edge or a level to do the same thing, but this goes a little bit faster. And once you've marked the center of each stud, the next step is going to be to draw a level line all the way across the bottom of the wall that you can use as a guide for the first row of boards. Now the reason you want to do this is because floors are rarely ever perfectly level, and you definitely want your boards to be perfectly level, because if you hang any pictures on them and they're not, you're going to notice very quickly. And now it's time to install your first row of wood planks. So get out a couple pieces of your wood planks and put them against the wall, mark them where you want to cut them. And just a note here, you're going to want to install the tongue part of it, the plank facing upward. To cut the boards, you're going to want to use a miter saw with a finished blade, as you see in this video right here. And once the boards are cut to length, you can put them up against the wall, line them up with the line that you drew to make that first row level, and then take out your nail gun and tack them in at least one nail for each stud. And once you have that first row done, the rest of them should go pretty fast. So just work your way up, starting from the bottom, working your way up to the top, and make sure to stagger the seams so they don't line up. So just, stagger them sporadically throughout the wall. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. Just make sure it doesn't look too uniform. And then you're also going to want to pay attention to any warped boards that you might have, and make sure to push them down so the joints are all tight and each board stays level. Otherwise, you might have some crooked areas in your wall. And here's a quick tip to conceal the nails. What I like to do is nail towards the top of the board and angle it down, as you see in this video right here. And that way you don't see any of the nails on the surface of the board, and it gives you a nice clean finish when it's all done. And make sure to mark and cut out any outlets as you go up so you don't forget where they're at and lose them later. And what I like to use is a multi-tool and with a wood bit on it, and it cuts through these boards like butter. And basically just continue that process row after row until you finish the entire wall and it's all covered. Now this is a pretty quick project. Most of the time is going to be spent actually finishing the boards. Installation actually goes pretty quick if you have two people, one person cutting and the other person nailing. And it should take about 2 hours in that case. So one thing to mention is once you get to the top row, it might be a little bit challenging and you're going to need a circular saw to cut the boards lengthwise, because it's very unlikely that that last board is going to fit perfectly between the other board and the ceiling. So you're going to probably have to make a cut lengthwise. And one last note, make sure that you buy extra wood and stain extra wood. You want to have about 5 to 10% more than you actually need in square footage, just in case you make any mistakes or mess up a board, or you have some maybe bad pieces of wood that break. Here's a quick list of materials needed. You're going to need the wood planks. We used a knotty pine V-groove purchased from Home Depot. Some sort of finish. We used a Minwax wood penetrating stain. Provincial 211 is the color. Painter rags, cheap paint brushes, 2-inch brad nails that are 18 gauge, and a clear finish such as a polyurethane. Now we did not use a polyurethane in this project, but I would definitely recommend it for yours to keep the wood looking better for longer. And here's a quick list of the tools required. You're going to need a miter saw with a finish blade, a circular saw with a finish blade, a brad nailer, an air compressor if your brad nailer requires an air compressor, a power drill, a chalk line, a 4-foot level, and optional that's going to make the job a lot easier for cutting out the outlets is going to be a multi-tool with a wood blade. I'm Dan Perry, and thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe below to get more videos just like this one. And if you enjoy DIY projects and you want to learn how to turn your skills into a profitable business, visit handymanstartup.com.